It looks like Optic Texas are making another roster change this season in Black Ops 6, this time bringing in young gun rookie MERCULES to be replacing Skyz in the starting lineup. This move is still yet to be confirmed by Optic themselves, but CDL Intel, Ronnie, Breaking Point, Jacob Hale, everyone's come out basically saying this is what they're hearing. And this seems like pretty big news, pretty good news for a lot of the Green Wall and the Optic fans I'm seeing across the timeline and other social media. After the brief debut MERCULES had on the Toronto Ultra when he filled in for Beans at Major 3, people have been high on this guy, someone that everybody thought was going to be in the league immediately after the Major. And then it turns out he only had one offer, reportedly from Cloud9, which he turned down, and stayed in challengers on Omit Brooklyn. Shout out Omit Brooklyn. You know, we had to pop out the jersey for this video. But these were his numbers when he was in the league for the very brief bit he was playing against CDL teams. Top KDs in every single category, above average still in SND, even though this is yellow, it might not look as good. Did not go negative in a single one. Did not have lower than an 81 Slayer rating in a single one of these. Overall, just played really, really good COD, filling in with a team that he had no practice with leading into the event and showcasing just how strong of an AR flex player he could be. The comms were good. The way he was able to get hills and also play objective was good. And pretty much every single fan thought that a team like Cloud9, Optic Texas, maybe the Falcons or LAG or Boston Breach would make a move for this kid. And now it's finally happened. Optic is looking like they might have gotten a young piece to build around for years to come. But obviously, for one to come in, another must fall down. And that here is going to be Skyz. Apparently, he's being benched. At least that's what the original, the tweet that I showed on screen was. It is really to no surprise. Skyz this season just has not been that good at Black Ops 6. When he was on LAG to start the season, he wasn't good. He got benched. Then he goes to Optic. Really didn't have many good series or even good maps up until this past weekend, surprisingly, versus Vancouver Surge was his best performance, and he still got dropped either way. And after this rumor came out on the timeline, Octane, who was live playing Warzone, as you can see by the clip on screen, talked a bit about it and said that this was supposed to happen before Major 4 qualifiers started, but some politics ended up stopping this. I'll play the clip for you right now.
Nah, chat. There was some.
What you're doing is worth the money.
There was some behind the scenes stuff for why it didn't happen. Some politics and shit. You know how it goes, chat. Leak.
Yeah. No. And as you heard, basically, Optic should have gotten MERCULES, right? They wanted to get Merc. They wanted to bring him in for Skyz previously, but something behind the scenes stopped this from happening. Something that Octane at least isn't going to say just yet. We'll see if anyone ever comes out as to why. But for all the Optic fans that are kind of like, why wait? Why make these moves, right? People were a little upset about the timing about the Kenny drop when they originally brought in Skyz. Now people are a little bit upset about the Skyz drop bringing in MERCULES. At least timing-wise, it seems like this was something they wanted to do, tried to do previously and just couldn't. And it's also got people up in arms because not even 2 weeks ago, Shotzzy came out and said they're sticking with their current roster, right? And a week later, they're making a change, especially after coming off of the first time they've beaten a top 8 team in the CDL since the end of January. So it has been 4 months since they beat a top 8 team. They finally get it done, and then they make a roster change, right? Obviously, here with MERCULES coming in for Skyz. I definitely think, right, in terms of Shotzzy saying things on stream, I get it, right? He goes live, he's a streamer, he's the face of the league, right? He's going to go live, he's going to stream. He should probably just ignore comments about the team and not really say things, because he said a lot of things this season, whether it's about their roster or about other teams, about how to play the game, about how to win, that have really turned and kind of came and bite him in the ass a little bit, I would say. So maybe Shotzzy should avoid talking about some of these things on stream, but at the end of the day, I guess if you stream often, you're going to say things, and sometimes, it's going to come back at you. But this move for Optic Texas, to me, is a really good one, right? Skyz did just have his best series of the year. They beat the Vancouver Surge convincingly, 3-0, easy peasy. I mean, these maps, you can see the scores at the top right there, were not even close. But also, I think when you look at this, you know that if you bring in MERCULES, he's going to be an upgrade over Skyz. He's going to play consistently better. He's going to get more kills, right? He's going to get in the hill. And if they did this versus the Surge with Skyz, you got to think they feel like their floor and their ceiling is higher, bringing in MERCULES to this team. Now, there, of course, is also the potential issue where it's like, if you have a bad system, it doesn't really matter who you put into that system. It's going to negatively affect them. It's not going to let them play their best COD. So I do think Optic has some things to work out, but maybe that's something that they've sort of figured out. They feel like they figured out how to play BO6 at this point. We are going into the last qualifiers of the year, right? So maybe they've started to get to that point where they're going to be able to slot MERCULES in comfortably to a system that at least works better than what they had previously, and make a run here at Major 4 and even into Champs, right? Because at this point, they've pretty much guaranteed their champ spot. They're 40 points ahead of Cloud9 and Minnesota Rocker, who are behind them at the 9-10 seed right now. Optic, even though technically has not mathematically guaranteed that spot, I don't think is going to get caught at this point, especially based off of what we've seen. And now bring in MERCULES. I expect them to at least be a solid top six-ish roster, at least top 8, right? They gotta be with this potential roster change, and it feels like the improvements they've been making. But either way, I really like this move for Optic Texas, but you let me know down below, whether you're an Optic fan or a fan of another team, what do you think about this? And do you think this helps propel Optic into a team that can maybe compete or cause some upsets at Major 4 DreamHack as well as at COD Champs in a couple months? But thank you all for watching. Don't forget to sub to the channel for more CDL content. We're on the road to 10K subs, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one.